I feel like when it comes to girls can get easily laid, but I think it's harder for girls to find a guy who's willing to have a relationship with her. I feel like for guys, it's more, they have a harder time getting laid, but they have an easier time once they find a girl to get into a relationship.
Erroneous.
Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we will be blind reacting I might add, to a whatever clip that saw go pretty viral, and apparently an OnlyFans girl red-pilled the panel on men's struggles. So apparently she's based. We will see. I will be the judge of that, or together we can be the judge of that. So without further ado, let's blind react to this clip from the Whatever podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Let's go.
I think the difference is, though, is that for, I'd say almost any woman, if she was so inclined, well, for starters, could certainly get laid pretty much any night she wants. But
Correct.
I'd say, to bring it forward even, almost any girl could probably sleep with 2, 3, 4 guys in a night. Yeah. Whereas for a guy to be able to do that, you gotta be, I'd say, pretty good looking or have some pretty serious game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy could easily do that. Maybe a harder time, but he could maybe do that if he has some sort of status. I think a famous guy could easily sleep with as many girls as he wants in a single night.
With any girl, I think some men will totally divergence. Because if you walk, there's so much more if you were a girl, you walked up to a guy on the street. I think you guys did that video one time. And you're like, do you want to come have with me?
They would
probably be like, okay, right now? Or, okay, let's go. And then a boy did that, they'd be like,
get away from me, you freak. Yeah,
exactly.
Totally. I feel like when it comes to girls can get easily laid, but I think it's harder for girls to find a guy who's willing to have a relationship with her.
What I will say is some of that is true, right? Like, it's easier for a girl to get laid, like the average girl, but maybe it's harder for a woman to get into a relationship. I don't know if that's true. I would say it's harder for a woman to get into a serious relationship with the guy that she actually wants, the guy that she desires. And we know this. Women have really high standards when it comes to men. We set these really high standards. They want them to be over 6 feet tall. They want them to be making 6 figures, making way more money than them. They want them to be successful, have status. They want them to be a high-value man. And honestly, a lot of high-value men tend to get a lot of women and maybe don't want to settle down and commit. Although I would also say that a really true high-value man would be a Christian man who is looking to commit.
For guys, it's more, they have a harder time getting laid, but they have an easier time once they find a girl to get into a relationship.
Erroneous.
Disavow. I disagree. I mean, I think they both kind of, especially in today, I think one follows the other. If you have difficulty getting laid, you're going to have difficulty getting a relationship. I think women have the advantage in both realms, both getting sex and getting a relationship. I think where women have trouble when it comes to getting a relationship, it's getting a relationship from the guy you want.
Wow, he literally copied me.
Well, besides that, I also feel like a guy who's getting laid is also a guy who's not really ready to settle down and have a relationship, because he's like, oh, I'm getting laid, so I can probably get laid multiple times, so why commit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But I feel like for a guy, though, let's just say you found a...
Not if he's a Christian. If he's a Christian and is waiting to find his wife, like my great husband, they wait to have sex until marriage. So these women, although if you look at them, if you are looking at them, something tells me that you would not find them in a church setting. The juggies are out, my friends. They are out. They are in your face, and they are proud to be in your face. You know, women, maybe the way you're dressing and putting yourself off and making yourself up to look like, maybe the way you're presenting yourself is not the best way if you're trying to find a man that wants to settle down. Again, why would a man want to wife up a girl that looks like a hoe, even if she's not a hoe, which most of the girls are. Most of the hoes are hoes, but a lot of girls look like hoes, even though they may not act like a hoe, they dress like a hoe. So you should portray yourself as a woman that a guy would want to settle down with. And sorry, maybe you think you look hot now, but this is not what's going to attract a serious relationship, which you women so desperately desire.
A girl who is able, you able to get laid with her, right? And you're able to talk. I feel like a lot more girls are actually willing to commit and have a relationship compared to guys. So I feel like if a guy is ready and he finds a girl.
So maybe there's a lot more women that are willing to settle down and commit, but why would a man want to settle down and commit with a woman who is acting, behaving, and dressing like a hoe? Why would a man want to settle down with you? If you want to attract a man that wants to settle down with you, you need to put out the energy and the dress yourself up as someone that wants to be settled down with. A man doesn't want to commit to a whore, okay? Okay, it's not that crazy, okay? It's not that crazy. This is like the debate between women who want a traditional man who will settle down with them, but then refuse to act traditional themselves. You need to be putting out the traditional values to women. It's not just all on the men.
Willing to sleep with him and just pay him attention, they could potentially build a relationship.
Wait, can you repeat that first part? You think that it's easier repeat the first part of that?
I forgot.
You said like
Does she have pregnancy brain like me, where I will like literally say something and forget what I just said like 2 seconds later? It's so fun, but it's real.
You said it's harder. Fuck, it slipped my mind
I'll
too.
try to say it. So for girls, for ladies,
Yeah.
it is easier to get laid. It's easy for ladies to have sex. It is harder for them to find someone who's ready to settle down and have a relationship with.
Okay.
Okay? For a guy, if you are ready to settle down and have a relationship with, you can find a girl who's ready to sleep with you and have a relationship.
Okay, but why would the man want to settle down with a girl who's just ready to sleep with him? Again, you're putting out signals that you are a slut. That does not attract a man to want to settle down. Why would a guy want to commit to a hoe?
I'm not so sure about that.
Here's why,
I'm not so
Brian.
sure
I
about
think it's a
that.
certain kind of guy.
Well, of course, because majority of the guys probably would not want to settle down if they're willing, if they're able to get laid multiple times, right? Like a guy who is able to get laid every week with a different girl is probably not going to be able, not want to like settle down and stuff like that. But if a guy does want to settle down, he can go find a girlfriend, get laid, and also be able to manage to build a relationship with that girl. Because more girls are willing to
Have
relationships
than men.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm actually not sure if that's true. I think there's plenty of men that are very prepared to have relationships. I just think a lot of women overlook a lot of men.
That's
And I think
Probably,
a-
yeah.
I think a-
Yeah, like the high standards that women set for men. They want, like I said earlier, they want a man that's over 6 feet tall, making 6 figures, very successful, having high status. And again, a lot of these men are already getting a lot of women, so maybe they don't feel the need to commit. They don't feel the pressure to actually commit to a woman. So they overlook the men that are actually ready to settle down with them. So that's very true.
I do agree.
a lot of
I
women
do
are
agree.
looking at like a pretty high tier of men and disregarding a
Not even high
large.
tier. Yeah, I was about to say not even high tier. It could be like average guys. Like
It's just
Well, hold on. Are you talking about online dating or IRL? Because that plays a role.
Well, yes, there's certainly differences between
Her accent is pretty cute, huh?
online dating
Yeah.
and IRL. But for example, if you look at online dating, which is actually how most people are actually meeting
Correct.
nowadays, they've released some statistics on this, and I think the majority of relationships originated online. So whether that's a dating app or meeting through Instagram, whatever it may be, Instagram's kind of a dating app, but it's not clear to me that men have an easier time getting relationships. Perhaps the top 20%,
1%. No,
top
less than that.
20, top 10% of men, they could easily get a relationship, but I think a lot of them don't have the incentive because that category of men, that cohort of men, as you said, it's fairly relatively easy for them to get laid. So
when it comes to online dating, I think we have to be a little bit more careful because when you look at online dating, there's actually more men using it compared to women. So there is a very small pool of women who are actually using online dating to find partnership. And typically, those small percentage of women are willing to swipe right to a very small percentage of men. So those pool of women actually swipe right to 1% of men, because those 1% of men are considered to be better looking, probably have more, well written down bios and etc. Because again, majority of the time when it comes to online dating, you're judging them.
Sorry, pause. Is this girl in the red just like looking at herself the entire time in the camera? Because that's what it looks like. She's just like, I'm zoning out and I'm just gonna look at myself the entire time.
Them off profile what they look like, so that's why a very small percentage, 1% of men actually get swiped right, and majority of men actually get lost in the online dating, which is true. So when it comes to online dating, you have to work on your profile picture, you have to actually work on your bio, because that's what you're based off. But if that doesn't work out, then you should try IRL.
Well, I mean, it depends what dating app, but I mean, I think
Majority of them.
Well, like Tinder, I think actually women are pickier when it comes to physical appearance than men are.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Again, but again, when you actually have only the physical attraction to base everything off of course you're gonna choose that.
Well, but I mean, that kind of just reinforces that women are, even though you say women are more desirous of relationships, well, then why do they continue to keep chasing after this like top 5, top 10% of men on the dating apps?
Because they believe they can settle them down.
That they can find that one, that they can change them. Like,
but
exactly.
But even women know that like a lot of these guys are or whatever the term is.
You would hope so, but I feel like a lot of ladies, especially at the young age, might be a little immature, might have lacking experience when it comes to dating, not really aware of what people really like.
I think a lot of people, and me personally being one of these people,
into the mic,
I think a lot of females don't realize that they're actually the emotionally unavailable one, which is why they attract emotionally unavailable men. Me being one of the people who had to look myself in the mirror and be like, wow, this is weird, why are things like this coming up? And I'm like, oh shit, literally it's because I was the emotionally unavailable one, because I was always like looking for the next best thing, or looking for something else, or intrigued and trying to go find something else, and So yeah.
So you're saying you were looking for something besides a relationship?
Because as with an immature mindset, you're constantly looking for the next best thing, whether that's of a superficial
I see what you
point,
mean.
where it's like a financial means, where
like,
it's
can I
clout,
do better?
where it's,
That's
a very immature mindset.
Immature mindset.
I agree.
Seriously,
Yeah.
Instead of looking for a person that's going to fit perfectly with your life.
I agree.
And that's why I got
Exactly.
out of my 5-year relationship, is because I started looking for the next best thing, even though like I had everything, pretty much.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't see how the OnlyFans girl red pilled the panel on men's struggles. I don't see how that title correlated with the clip whatsoever. But okay, I guess, the men's struggles is a man's struggle in the dating world. To sum this up, is women have such high expectations for men. They want them to be traditional. They want them to be making a lot of money. They want them to be over 6 feet tall, charismatic, all of the above, while not bringing much to the table. What are women bringing to the table? Not much these days. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like this video on your way out. Subscribe. I put new videos out every single weekday, so make sure you subscribe and don't miss out on any future videos. And I will see you guys on either tomorrow or Monday, depending on when I edit this. Sayonara.